What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. Today we've got another Bleacher Report article. What other way would you want to start out a Monday? Yay, Bleacher Report, yay. Hey, the end of the season's coming up, y'all. I know it's crazy to say. If you're a team like mine, I'm a Bulls fan, and you're just kind of waiting for the season to end, despite the fact that you're probably going to be in the play-in, these weeks are a little bit agonizing. But also, if you're one of the top teams, right, it's like, yeah, let's just get to the playoffs already. I want my team to be healthy. I totally understand. So today, I've got an article of every NBA team's best and worst case scenarios for these final 3 weeks. Now look, not a ton's happening, like maybe guys are getting some 10-day contracts and stuff, but really there's not a lot going on in terms of like NBA news. It's just we're trying to get towards the end of the season, right? And so I think it's going to be interesting to go into this, take a look at each team, be like, hey, where are they at right now? Where do we kind of want to end this season at? But anyway, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. Go view some of the other videos, especially these, are they ready to play in the NBA, or do they fit in the NBA videos? These are my favorite to do on the channel. A lot of times they get copyright striked, and so I don't really get to profit off them or get any real gain out of them, but they're a lot of fun. I think they're educational and funny for the most part, but yeah, feel free to go check out that content and leave me some comments because you know I respond to every single one. But anyway, let's go back to the article. I'm going to presume this is in alphabetical order. Yep, as always, the Atlanta Hawks starting out first. Best case scenario, they hold steady at the number 7 seed. By the way, at the time of recording this, it is Friday the 21st. Holding on to the number 7 seed and seeing notable growth in their young core. So who's young core at this point? Onyeka Okongwu, who's been playing really good recently. You could tell dude's just got green light from 3 right now, and it looks pretty solid. Like, I'm not complaining about it whatsoever. Dyson Daniels looking great. Obviously, Jalen not playing at this point in the season. He's injured. Reese Shea starting to look pretty solid. I think Reese Shea is really falling into exactly kind of what we talked about going into this season as just the maybe he won't be a star. Most likely, I said I don't think I see an all-star in this guy, but going to be a quality like 3-and-D starter that's a decent athlete. Like, yeah, looks pretty good as of right now. So yeah, that'd be a good place for them. Worst case scenario, they slip out of the top 8, and while the Lakers climb to number 2, because the Hawks don't have their own pick, no amount of losing can ever add up to winning. Yeah, that's the thing. If the Lakers get healthy in time to jostle their way back into the West 2nd seed, that would further soil Atlanta's stretch run since the Hawks control their first pick this year. Yeah, so if the Lakers find a way to win games despite all those guys being hurt, that can hurt these guys, but I don't think it would matter much if they slip at this point. Like, if you're a Hawks fan, do you really care if you're a 7 seed versus a 10 at this point? Like, it all feels kind of the same to me. So I don't know, maybe that's just because I'm a Bulls fan and I've existed as like the literal 10 seed for like the past like 7 years, and it's just been agonizing for me. But curious to hear your guys' thoughts. The Celtics avoid key injuries and enter the postseason on a shooting tear. Yeah, that'd be great. Obviously, this team probably still the favorites in a lot of people's minds. I'd have a hard time not picking the Celtics as the favorite to win the finals at this very moment. And I know some of you can say, well, they Drew Holiday, he's not playing that well. This team just won the finals. It's the exact same team they're rolling out, and they handled everybody so easily last year. AVC, the Pacers. No, they didn't. Pacers were not like tight with them, but the score set, I don't care. I've read it all. I've seen all of your comments. See, I read them all. It's not correct. It's not. I'm sorry. But no, the Celtics are really good. If they can keep on shooting, or if they can get into a hot shooting streak, that could be it for everybody. Worst case scenario, a key contributor, perhaps a 7-3-1, suffers an untimely injury. Let's just knock on wood with that. We don't want injuries. Injuries suck. We want to have a fun postseason, so let's hope for no injuries for anybody. The Brooklyn Nets, they finished with a bottom 5 record while gaining some clarity with youth. Which ones? Which youth are you really all that curious about? It's just Cam Thomas probably that you're that curious about? Like, Noah Clowney's interesting to me. I don't think they're counting Nick Claxton per se. Like, are you really that interested in like Zaire Williams, Jalen Wilson? Jalen Wilson I'm still kind of a little bit curious about, I guess, but like Whitehead, dude's hardly even played, so I don't know. It's probably just Cam Thomas that you're interested in. But yeah, no, keep losing basketball games, right? Like, you want whatever chance you can get at one of those like top 5 players, most likely, is what you really would like. Obviously, they want to go up into that top 4. It's a little bit more elite, but That's kind of the idea. Worst case scenario, they worsen the lottery odds without coaxing any consistency out of the young nucleus. Yeah, man, Jordy's a good coach, man. Like, he's keeping this not very talented team afloat. We kind of said going into the season when we saw like the original roster they had, we were like, there's a lot of like solid role players, and they have a couple guys that can get buckets on the team. This team shouldn't actually be that as bad as we think that they're going to be, and they weren't. So that's kind of cool. Like, I think it's great that you've already got a coach and you're establishing a culture. Like, the rebuild can start this next year with whoever you draft, right? You're still probably not going to be a good team, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, it would kind of stink if you missed out on like a really top-end pick this year, because, again, I don't think there's anyone on the team that's like that valuable right now in terms of like future projections. So I could understand that. The Charlotte Hornets, they hold a bottom 3 record, but keep competitive with LaMelo Ball's starring and Tajon Salon building encouragement. That's a weird way of forming this sentence. I also feel like there should be a period there, should there not? I don't know, after a colon. You guys tell me if you're an English major or something like that. But yeah, like that feels like a pretty generic one. Bad team, want to stay bad for draft pick, yes, but also want good player to keep playing good. Yeah, no, that would be great, I guess. I don't really have anything else to say about that. Yeah, we'd like Tajon Salon to start to show something. We knew coming into the season that he was going to be pretty raw, so I'm not tripping that this season wasn't necessarily the best for him. Love to see a full off season where, you know, he gets to add a little more strength, gets to work on a couple things, come back next year. I think it'll tell us a lot about him. I still think there's actually a decently high ceiling with that guy. Worst case scenario, the lottery odds worsen. Yep, bad team play better. We don't want that right now. And Ball can't get his shooting back on track. So literally complete opposite of that. I don't need to explain that to you. You're smart. Chicago Bulls. Let's do this. Give me something good to look forward to. Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and Matas Buzelis form this team's long-term foundation. No, that's not going to happen. No chance. Josh Giddey, awesome. I was actually talking with some people in the Discord about this. Go join the Discord if you haven't already. Link is always in the description. We are talking hoops on there all the time. I've got, how many notifications? I've got like 12 notifications just since like starting this video about people talking hoops on there. So go hop on, where it's a good time. It's a really good time. But I was just talking with some people on there actually, and I was like, hey, Giddey's the only one, and I've kind of maintained this throughout the season. I'm like, Giddey's the only one I'm holding on to. Giddey's looking awesome right now, right? I think we can all agree. Dude's looking awesome. I've been a fan of his for a minute now. I loved the Caruso trade to get him. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I'd want for this. This is cool. This is my point guard of the future. Is he going to be an all-star? Probably not, but I like this guy going forward. I really, really do. Kobe White, not sure I need to have him long-term. Like, I don't get the point of keeping him long-term. What, he's just kind of like a scoring guard? I don't know if I see potential to be something beyond that. And then Buzelis, I was talking about him specifically. Cool. I like the effort that he brings every night. I think defensively he's been pretty solid this year. I don't really buy the shooting at all. I don't think it's going to roll around particularly, and I don't believe in the handle really coming either. Like, hope it does. Really, really hope it does, but I don't know. I don't see him turning into something that I can use day in and day out. So just my 2 cents. I hope so, though. I hope so. Worst case scenario, Giddey's free agency gets complicated. Oh, yeah, that is a big part of it. You got to re-sign Giddey. Give him some money, man. Give him some money. And Buzelis loses developmental minutes to Chicago's play-in chase. Who's going to play over him? Like, I don't know. Why wouldn't you just play him at this point? Like, I do think, unfortunately, he's one of the better options that we have on the team right now, so I'd say just roll him out there and see what happens. The Cleveland Cavaliers is a dope picture. Best case scenario, they lock up the league's best record without running their stars ragged. Yeah, no, just keep being them, essentially. Look, they've been awesome this whole season, right? We all know the Cavs have been awesome. Their roster's absolutely loaded. They're just a little bit unproven, right? And so we're going to have a little bit of skepticism just because of that. But, man, it sure seems like they can cover anything you can throw at them, right? Offensively, they've got it all. Defensively, they have it all. It seems like every position except maybe having one more big on the team is pretty much there. So, yeah, just keep doing it and hope nothing goes wrong. Worst case scenario, the edge wears off during a snoozy stretch run. Yeah, basically just things go bad. Okay, that's not really saying much at all. The Dallas Mavericks. Do we do this? I haven't read anything yet. Do we do this one? Do we just move on? What is the best case scenario for this team? That I'm curious about. What possibly could be the worst case scenario in 3 weeks here? Like, does the stadium fall down? Like, what else happens? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Do we do this? Have Mavericks fans been through enough? I feel like we need to at least give them something to look forward to. Okay? Let's do it. Best case scenario, they snag their spot in the draft lottery. Okay, sure. And no one else suffers a catastrophe. Who else would it, like, yeah, sure. Like, it'd be nice to have no more injuries, but, like, man, that's bad. That's bad. Where are they at standing-wise right now? Like, are we actually in a spot where we could see that happen? Oh my God, the Mavericks have fallen all the way out. Oh my gosh, 1-9. I knew it was bad, but I guess everybody was that close. Okay, keep doing what you're doing. I guess that is the only saving grace you can possibly have right now. What is the worst possible thing that could happen right now? Are they just going to say opposite again? They win games and someone does get hurt? The injury bug strikes again. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. I just got an update a little bit ago that Anthony Davis is likely to come back. So yeah, let's hope that goes okay, right? Let's hope that goes okay. Let's move on. The Denver Nuggets, best case scenario, they nab the number 2 seed behind their magical 2-man game. Yep. Murray and Jokic, still probably the most unstoppable thing in basketball, right? Jamal Murray's playing awesome right now. Very, very cool. We love to see it. I hope to see this team contending again. I have a lot of fun with this group, particularly the first 5. I feel like Christian Brown's like really underrated, most improved player option out there. I don't think it's actually going to be him, but I feel like he's not getting enough credit for things. This team just figuring out ways to make it work despite having some very obvious holes. Worst case scenario, they fall to the 5 seed and watch Jamal Murray get out of his groove. Yeah, okay. Is it really just going to be like opposite every time? Fair enough. Detroit Pistons, they snag a top 4 seed while picking up some signature wins. Where are the Pistons at currently? Pistons are a 6. They can catch Indiana. Indiana's, I feel like, is playing pretty well right now. At least like they're kind of back to playing their style of play. The Bucks, anything could happen with the Bucks. It seems like at any possible moment. So I guess we'll see with that. But man, how awesome would it be to see the Pistons get a top 4 seed? It's cool to see this young group coming together, even without having a Jaden Ivey, who, again, you'll have to remember, he'll be back next season. A lot of growth happening for this group. Cade is awesome. I love Duran. I love Asar. Malik Beasley, you guys know, I love me some Beasley. Just let him shoot. Let him shoot. So, yeah, a lot of fun. They're stuck at the 6th seed, and they see their defense or their shooting decline. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think it would be bad. Like, look, if they avoid the play-in this year, which currently they've got a pretty good chance to do so, that is a win of a season in and of itself. You guys have to remember where the Pistons have been the past couple years. Like we said going into this year, you have to win some games so that you can start to win some games, right? And there's just no development if you just keep rolling out the ass teams that they were doing the past couple years. Like, how's Cade going to get any better if he's not playing with other NBA players? It's just not going to happen. And then this offseason, they went and did so. This is already a win of a season for them. So I wouldn't trip about anything past this point. Obviously, injuries, knock on wood, we hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, like I'm not too worried about everything else, man. This is good. This is a step in the right direction. And not every year has to be championship or bust for everybody. Remember, internet people, it's not a 0 or a 10 all the time. Like, we're okay with getting like a 5 out of 10 sometimes, a 6 out of 10. You can go see a movie and it can be a 7 out of 10 good. Like, yeah, I had a good time watching this movie. It might not have been Avengers Endgame, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm a big Marvel nerd for those of y'all that don't know. I'm just a big movie guy in general. I go to the movie theaters every Sunday night. So, little fact about me. Tell me some movies I should go watch right now, because I have not picked one for this weekend yet. You guys will see this on Monday, so shut up, don't worry about it. The Golden State Warriors, they avoid the play-in tournament and find the right fit for Jonathan Kuminga. I have no idea what to do with Jonathan Kuminga on this group. I am stunned that they didn't find a way to trade him this trade deadline. The fact that they didn't have to trade him for Butler was pretty nuts in and of itself, but obviously I think the Heat are just happy having the draft pick right now. I don't know what to do with Kuminga's development. I need to see him somewhere where we've actually seen development take place, right, for me to know if there's a possibility of adding more to his game. But for the time being, yeah, if they find a way to integrate him, he's plenty talented, but you guys know I don't value him like super highly. Worst case scenario, they slip into the plane and can't find enough shooting to keep their best players on the floor together. When was this written? Because Steph just got hurt last night, and he has to get some x-rays on his tailbone, so that fall looked ouch. Any of y'all that have ever hurt your tailbone, I've done it plenty of times. The worst, the absolute worst. You got to sit on the little donut in all your chairs. It's really, it's not the best look. It's not the best look. You can't take your girl out to dinner and then pull a little donut out of the bag and sit down and still feel manly. You can't. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay, Kings. Just sit on the donut. Anyway, we're getting very off topic in this video. Houston, best case scenario, they hold strong at number 2 and carry a clean bill of health into the playoffs. Where are we at currently right now? Yep, still there. It's so close, man. It's so close with all of these teams. It's been a fun season for Houston. I'm really looking forward to Houston's offseason. I'm standing pretty firm that I'm guessing, who would they play right now? Potentially like the Clippers or the T-Wolves, Kings or Suns. They could beat those. I don't think they're beating the Timberwolves. Clippers, maybe. If they were to fall to like a 3 and play the Warriors, I'd probably take Golden State in that one. You guys know I don't buy into this team completely right now. I think they're heading in a great direction. I'm just saying right now, not buying into it too much. Young team. I question like what you're going to go to offensively come playoff time when teams have time to prepare. This team is a little bit more play into the wind kind of style, and I'm not sure I'm necessarily buying it, but I'm very curious to see what they do in the offseason because you have so many young guys. You got a pick or two you can move, like who becomes available. I'd love to see what happens. Worst case scenario, their shooters go cold. They don't have a ton of them to begin with, and their defense can't stop them from skidding back to the number 5 seed. Yep, makes total sense. Again, I would not trip about this team falling to the 5 seed either. I think this has been a super successful season. I think you know who your key guys are. I'd say it's Şengün. I'm still pretty out on Jalen Green. Tari Eason's awesome, and then Amen Thompson I think is your best player. I think you'd still have to add a 1A option to this group, right? I never like using those terms all the time, but you do kind of need that one go-to guy. I'm not sure they have that, so something to look forward to figuring out if they'll find it. The Pacers, what is my man's doing right here? I'm not so sure. Best case scenario, they stay in the East top 4 as Halliburton continues his climb towards reclaiming superstar status. Who took away his superstar status, right? Who took it away just because he had a rough start to the season? Oh, God forbid. You're in a little slump sometimes. These are people. Relax, everybody. He's fine. Halliburton's really, really good, so cool. But yeah, stay in the top 4. That would be awesome, right? Because I don't think they're catching the Knicks or Celtics or Cavs, so yeah, stay there. Injuries slow down Halliburton. Yeah, that's the thing. I think he was just playing hurt most of the season. And Indy slides back into the 6th seed. Yeah, that would stink considering who's below them because the Bucks seem very inconsistent. I truly believe the Bucks, talent-wise, should be able to leap at least these two, but I'm not seeing it really come together on the basketball court quite yet outside of Dame and Giannis. So I don't know, but yeah, I don't see them falling. I think the East is pretty set the way that it is. The Clippers, what is the best case scenario? Kawhi Leonard returns to form. I mean, he's looking pretty solid right now. He's just not nearly as explosive as he used to be, and the Clippers follow his lead out of the play-in tournament. Yeah, no, that'd be cool. I think they could certainly do that. He could be a guy that could win you a play-in all by himself, so I guess we'll see. Leonard battles inconsistency. You've been dealing with that for forever. Would it really suck that much? Like, what expectations did you have going into this season, Clippers fans? Come on now. And LA gets locked in at the number 8 seed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I think Kawhi's looking solid right now. I'm pretty happy with his game. Like, he's still pretty unguardable at times, as we all remember. It's just the injuries, right? It's him and Zion. It's the injuries, right? Otherwise, they're probably top 10 players in the NBA. Again, he does look just like a little bit slower than what he used to. Honestly, noticeably slower, but he still can get to his spots, get you buckets. Maybe not the player that he once was, but still very elite. So I guess we'll see. I really didn't think the Clippers would be at this point, or get this far even, but I also thought they would bottom out a little bit more. It doesn't seem like they're interested in that, so fair enough. The Lakers, they move clear of their injury issues to snag the West 2 seed. Man, JJ is trying to do everything for this group. Did y'all see the lineup that they rolled out last night? Shout out Bronny James, by the way. Led them in scoring. Look, I'm not saying Bronny's here and arrived, right? But I've maintained pretty firm on this channel that I'm like, look, I look at Bronny, And I'm like, I can totally turn you into like a more athletic Trey or Trey Jones. I totally can, and I like Trey Jones. So I'm like, I can do that. That's fine. I can see the talent here. There's some people that are like, he shouldn't have gotten drafted. Yeah, most likely, like, well, 100% if his name wasn't Bronny, yes, he wouldn't have been drafted. I understand. I think he's still pretty good. We miss out on talent all the time, and I just think this helped us actually get a lock on some talent. I do genuinely think like he can be a nice role player in the NBA. So just my thoughts on that. You can leave me a comment below if you think otherwise. Try to leave something intelligent, though, if you're actually going to say it. They move clear of their injuries, though. Everybody's hurt right now. All the starters out right now. It sucks. It sucks to watch. But hey, at least I get to watch some Jordan Goodwin basketball, and I like watching him play. Injury issues linger, and their defense regresses. Look, you can only game plan so much if you just have no talent out on the basketball court. There's only so much that can be done, so guess we'll see. Guess we'll see with them. I hope things go better for them. I've enjoyed watching the group. The Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant gets healthy and powers the Grizzlies to the number 2 seed. I feel like I haven't watched enough Grizzlies basketball this year. I wanted to watch way more, and it just didn't work out this season to watch enough of him. But from what I've seen of Ja, he's made a lot of adjustments to his game this year. It seems like maybe part of that's due to injuries, but I'd love to see him kind of get back into some more takeover type moments. We know this is the deepest team in the NBA. I'm really excited to see kind of what they roll out playoff time and who they go to. By the way, Gigi Jackson, who's blurry in this picture right here, can somebody go trade for Gigi Jackson? I feel like that's going to be a guy that could be available. That would be a significant pickup for a rebuilding team this year. So Chicago Bulls, get on it. Call about Gigi. Give him Vucevic or something. I don't care. I want Gigi. Just go get him. I love Gigi. Worst case scenario, Morant can't avoid the injury bug, and Memphis can't move out of the 5 spot. Yeah, no, just another opposite one here. Come on, let's be a little more creative with these in the article. Miami Heat. Oh, Spo's not happy. They snap out of spiral in time to retain hope of getting out of the play-in. Look, man, the team's just not that great. Like, they've got some good players, but it's just not that great of a team, right? The fact that they're remaining any sort of competitive, I think, is really impressive. I know Hero's an all-star. Bam is looked at as an all-star as well, right? And I don't disagree with that. Those two aren't typically going to be enough to win you a ton of basketball games, right? The Heat make a lot of crazy things happen. They're rolling Davion Mitchell out for way too many minutes at this point. I know Heat fans love Davion Mitchell, but like, come on, y'all. Like, that's not going to get it done for you long term. It's just not. Let's try to see some development in Ware, right? Let's hope Wiggins can be something. I don't know. Yeah, if they get out of the play-in, that'd be crazy. The losses keep coming, and the Heat land in the lottery. Does that really suck? Wouldn't you guys rather just have a chance at Cooper, Ace, Dylan, or VJ? Come on, I think you would. The Milwaukee Bucks. They pushed their way to the 4 seed thanks to a big lift from Kyle Kuzma. What can I see Kyle Kuzma's numbers since joining the Bucks right now? Are we still just not shooting very well? Milwaukee at this point, yep, still shooting like ass. Actually scoring less points, which, yeah, no, that does make sense. He's just on a better basketball team. We do expect that. Are the assists up? No, assists are down. Rebounding, it's great. I've seen some nice defensive plays out of him, so maybe we think that he's been really good defensively. But yeah, no, Kuzma, I don't know what to do with Kyle Kuzma at this point. Can we just stop making him try to be a creator? Like, can we just let him play off of people, cut, do things like that? He's a good athlete, and like traditionally he was pretty good at the rim. So can we just get back to more of that? That's all I want. Make him more of an Aaron Gordon type. No, he's not dunking like that, but the way that they use Aaron Gordon in Denver. That's what I'd like. They slipped to the 6th seed while failing to find support scoring from their supporting cast. Could very well happen. Maybe Kevin Porter Jr. gets hot. That'd be cool. The Minnesota Timberwolves, best case scenario, they capitalize on favorable schedule to claim the 6th seed and get Anthony Edwards onto MVP ballots. Is anyone getting any MVP votes not named Shea and Jokic this year? Can't imagine so, but I love Anthony Edwards. This team is figuring itself out a little bit, which is cool. Julius Randle been playing some pretty solid basketball. I'd love to see them not have to play in the play-in. Worst case scenario, they get stuck in the play-in. They have a nightly search for a second scorer. Yeah, that'd be scary. I'll keep saying I think Naz Reid is the next best option on the team to go to. But look, you can't not roll Randall out there. I mean, he, like, talent-wise, like, yes, he is there. I just think Reid is going to be a little more consistent, and the team continually just plays better when he's with them. But You're not going to not throw Julius Randle out of there. So I think it would suck if this team ended up in the play-in. Man, if it wasn't for the Mavericks, this team would have just been, I feel like we'd be focusing a lot more on the Timberwolves and kind of the disappointment that this season was because of some decisions that were made. But at least Cat's having a great year. The New Orleans Pelicans, Zion Williamson looks like a reliable franchise centerpiece. Let's continue to say the same things we keep saying. Zion, when he's on the basketball court, top 10 player in the NBA. Dude is unstoppable. Nobody can stop him. I feel good knowing that he crushed my dreams in college, seeing that he can do the same thing to everyone in the NBA, and they all go, I don't know how to stop him. He is such a freak. He is just unstoppable when he's on the basketball court, which, great. That's good for him. Just got to stay healthy. Stay away from the snow bunnies, and we're all good, Zion. That's all you got to do, my man. Just stay healthy. Stay away from snow bunnies. Everything's good. That's all you got to do, dog. But we'll see. We'll see with Zion. And like yes, he's a franchise centerpiece. I see some people always trying to trade Zion in things. And do you guys know what you'd have to trade to go get Zion at this point for how valuable and good of a player he is? Although maybe I shouldn't say that after the Luka trade. Sorry, Mavericks fans. Worst case scenario, Williamson gets hurt again. Oh yeah, that would suck. Yeah, that would absolutely suck. I don't want to even think about that anymore. I don't want to think about it. The Knicks, a healthy Jalen Brunson picks up where he left off while Mitchell Robinson expands his role. Yep, hopefully Mitchell Robinson continues to kind of get into shape. Need Jalen Brunson back healthy. They lost to the Hornets last night. That sucked for them. They didn't have Brunson, and look, they just don't have a ton of depth on this team, but you still can't lose to Charlotte. This team's got to stay healthy. Obviously, we're worried about all the minutes that Thibs plays these guys. It'd be really nice to see him expand the rotation just a little bit more going into the playoffs, but hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, what was the worst case scenario? Brunson looks out of rhythm upon returning. He feels like one of those guys that's probably just going to be fine no matter where he is. Like, I feel like if you roll him out in a dire scenario, things are going to be okay with Jalen Brunson. And the Knicks close with an uninspiring stretch. I'm not worried about that as much. The Thunder, they enter the playoff with health and the league's best record. I think they're going to enter with the league's best record. I think so. 56-13. It's pretty close. I'd find it hard to believe. Like, the Thunder can roll out any lineup and they just can kind of win on any given regular season night. We all see the thing of, like, do we actually buy it come playoff time? Hard to say, right? Like, so much of their offense is drawing fouls. Traditionally in the NBA, we see a lot less fouls called in the playoffs, so that's a big loss for them. I'm not worried about Shea. Like, he's going to get his buckets one way or another. If you don't foul him, he's probably going to make the shot still, so I'm not tripping about that per se. It'd be nice for Jalen Williams to get healthy and get himself right, because obviously he's a big part of things, but I am very curious to see when teams have time to game plan for these guys more, because again, they don't play an incredibly complex style of basketball. It's hard to guard when you have that many good passing bigs that know how to move and stuff like that, and you've got a bunch of shot makers on the team, and you've got a couple good creators. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, but it's also not hard to think of what you need to do to stop it. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. I'm not picking them to make the finals, more likely than not. Worst case scenario, Jalen Williams hip injury lingers. Yep, and the offense looks too reliant on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yep, that's the biggest thing, right? Because again, it is just going to be harder for him in the playoffs. I still think he's going to be damn near unstoppable, but yeah, that makes sense. Orlando Magic, the Star Wings heat up in time to claim the number 7 seed. Where are we at currently? I feel like I need to refresh myself on where everyone's at. Do you really care that much? Do you really care that much? I don't think it matters one way or another what the seed is for them. It'd just be nice to see them stay healthy, hit a couple 3-pointers, but I don't know. I think the damage is done for this season. What did we learn this season? Franz is really dope. I think Paolo's going to be dope. I think you just actually have to do what you saw the Pistons do this year and make sure you go get some actual players that can play off of these guys successfully so that they can be their best selves, right? Just do that. We know these two are good. Let's go get some actual talent around them that complements them, right? Not Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. We said that in the offseason when they made that move. I was like, that doesn't make sense. He is not the type of guy to play off of these types of players. He's just not. So whatever. Worst case scenario, their offensive flaws are too much to overcome. That continues to kind of be the case, so I could see it. The Philadelphia 76ers, they finished with a bottom 5 record. Yeah, I'm sure they would love to get a top 5 player. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that if I was a Sixers fan, most likely. Worst case scenario, they have the 7th worst record and no developmental gains to show for it. Who? If they get Maxey back, it'd be fun to see him find his groove at the offensive end. Just like it's been fun to see the Sixers having something with Quentin Grimes. Yep, we're finally starting to see Quentin Grimes take some things over. That's awesome. We've been talking about how talented he is on the channel for a little bit now. Very cool. Very, very cool. Look, if you get the 7th pick, I'm not tripping about it. There was way worse things that happened this season. Who you draft this year isn't the main question. It's what do you do with like these dudes here? I don't think you're moving on from Paul George. I just don't think that makes sense. I keep telling everyone in the comments about the Joel Embiid stuff. I just want to be a fly on the wall because I'm not going to pretend to know what to do with this situation. I think it's incredibly complicated. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I hope he gets healthy. The Phoenix Suns, they capture a play-in invite thanks to their stars. Yeah, I'm going to continue to say I think you can win basketball games with this team. I really do. I think the Suns are victims of continuing to just put like band-aids on their coaching situation. Like, go get someone with a little bit of creativity, please. Budenholzer has never been known to do stuff like that. Like, this whole mentality of get guys that can manage star players. I don't get that. Like, I don't. Just go get somebody that's smart and knows what they're talking about, and they will have respect. That's how it works. That's how you get to points like this. So, I don't know. Clearly, they didn't have great respect with their star players anyway because their teams let them go. So, I don't get it. Stop putting like the Frank Vogels and the Mike Budenholzers in here. Go find new coaches and new smart brains that know what to do. These guys are just standing there the whole time. It's ridiculous. Go run something. They don't even get to play in tournament to distract them from a bad offseason. Yeah, it's going to be a weird offseason. I think Kevin Durant's almost certainly gone. I don't think Booker's going anywhere. Maybe Beal does if he's willing to. I don't know outside of like rebuilding teams who would be interested. Like I said, if I'm a Detroit Pistons, I'll take a Bradley Beal every day. If I'm a Chicago Bulls, I'll take Bradley Beal every day. You just got to pay me to take him, right? So I think that there could be something there. But otherwise, I think this team, I think their front office did a really good job building a roster. I don't think they did a good job of picking their coaches. So no hate or anything. They're more successful than I am. I just think you could have done better. So just my thoughts. The Portland Trailblazers, I like this right here, but there should be a Denny right about here. Best case scenario, crashing the play-in party. Where are we at currently with that? You could do it. You could do it. If the Suns fall out, really, it's only the Suns you're most likely catching. So I could see it. That'd be cool. I don't think it matters that much anyway, but like whatever. I think we're seeing enough interest that confirms what we've been saying on this channel the whole time, which is you need to prioritize these couple of young guys on the team because there's something there, and I'll list them in a second, and get rid of the rest of it because they're not helping the young guys get better, right? Like, it's okay to have vets on your team, like you want vets, but these are guys just taking up playing time that aren't helping you win basketball games, and they're not complementary to the young players. Do what the Pistons did this year. They said, oh, we can't shoot the basketball. Cade has the ball the whole time, and everyone's sinking in on him. Let's go get some shooters. They did, and now it's good. Like, Magic, if you could have a couple of shooters, I bet you Paulo looks way better. I bet you Franz looks way better. Suggs as well. It'd be great. This team, just go get some complementary pieces. Here's the guys you build around, right? First of all, Denny. Denny's, I'm not saying he's future all-star or anything. Denny's really good. Scoot Henderson, talent is so high for this guy. We're seeing it this back half of the year. It's looking good, man. Just get him some people that complement him. Keep Scoot Henderson. Shaedon Sharpe, I'm actually starting to see a little bit more out of him. I wasn't really sure about Shaedon Sharpe. I'm seeing a little bit now. That's like, okay, I'm curious. I would like to see more. Donovan Clingan, just get him in shape, and then we're good. Is there anyone I'm missing? Anybody that I'm missing here? I don't think so. I don't think I'm missing anybody else. Those are four really interesting young players. Keep them. Go get another. Maybe you get lucky in the lottery this year, and you could be really good. Just go figure out the coaching. Get some of these nonsense guys off the roster, and things will be okay. Worst case scenario, potential keepers wilt under the pressure of trying to climb the standings. I don't know what that means. In order for the Blazers to pull this off, they need to leapfrog both the Mavericks and the Suns. While those teams have their issues, blah, blah, it's possible. Who cares? Who cares if they make the playoffs this year? Like, they're not a very good basketball team. I don't care. The Sacramento Kings. The roster rallies around an injured Sabonis and really hits its stride upon his return. Cool. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk can help pick up the scoring. Look, I think Zach LaVine's option number one. I would honestly say DeRozan and Malik Monk are the first three options scoring. I think Sabonis is, in my opinion, probably the last one that I'd think to run like necessarily scoring plays for. I run things through Sabonis is what I do. But, maybe they're just wording that weirdly. A worst case scenario, Sabonis injuries lingered and they stay in the play-in spot. Yeah, tough season for the Kings. I don't know what to do with this team come off-season time. You guys had to buy some time this year because of the whole Fox thing, which I totally understand. So, I don't know. A lot of interesting questions, but hey, Zach LaVine's fun, isn't he? The San Antonio Spurs, Stephon Castle claims Rookie of the Year honors while Devin Vassell locks himself into long-term plans. Yeah, that's awesome. Rookie of the Year award might already belong to Castle. I'd probably say so at some point, but some stretch run eruptions would close the conversation. Yeah, he's not running away with it by any means. 6 of his 19 game, blah, 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 blah. The 20-year-old looks like he'll be running alongside Wemby for years. Very curious to see what his role looks like. I'm not completely sure. He's an interesting player. Devin Vassell is hopefully on the verge of earning no-brainer building block status too. I'm a big Vassell fan. His game is snug fit. He's also a logical candidate to be shipped off if San Antonio goes star searching again. I can't imagine who that would be, so I'd be curious, but yeah, cool. Worst case scenario, it's all volume and no efficiency for the young core. I don't care. Just get him on the court right now. Let's see what happens. I see a lot of Spurs fans saying, hey, let's go get another big to back up Wemby in the draft. Let's go get some wings and stuff because we're so small at the wing. Yeah. Go do that. Go find a couple more vets and stuff, and I think you're good. And then your goal next year's playoffs. That's the goal. Toronto Raptors. They boost their lottery odds while finding chemistry-building minutes for Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickley. Yeah, Quickley's been what you wanted this year, right? Now that he's finally back and playing, we're seeing the shooting with and without the basketball. The floater's awesome. Great. That's what you want. I like Quickley for this group. I like the fact that their point guard doesn't need the basketball because there's so many other guys on this team that can have the basketball, especially once Brandon Ingram comes back. Scotty Barnes, obviously, we want to see what he can become. Maybe you're going to get somebody else good in the lottery this year that would like to have the basketball. Very curious to see. Next, the Raptors don't gain clarity on their core and lose enough to improve their chances at the lottery. Don't you kind of want to do that? I don't understand. Why wouldn't you want to try to get a top pick at this year's draft? That makes too much sense to me. I don't know why you wouldn't just say, I want to play well but lose games. That's what I would do. I do that as a Bears fan every single year, it feels like, for football. For those not familiar with that, NFL. Utah Jazz. Curious. They maximize their draft lottery odds without ingraining the worst habits in young players. I'm not worried about that with the Jazz. Like, they're kind of just rolling things out there, and none of their young players, they seem completely sold on, which I think is fair. Like, Kessler's good. We like Kessler, right? He's your starting center for years to come, most likely. Keontae George, even when you ask Jazz fans, they're kind of like, yeah, I think he is more of like the six-man type, which I tend to agree with that. Collier, they're rolling out to see what happens. Filipowski, they're rolling out to see what happens. Cody Williams, man, I hope something good happens for him. I really do. I just worry about the kid and his mental health a little bit with how this season's been for him. But, yeah, no, I'm just not worried about it. This team's in full-on tank mode. They're kind of just letting the players play and explore. I don't think that's the worst thing to do right now. Worst case scenario, they aren't the league's worst team and can't figure out which young players, if any, are worth keeping. Look, I can just tell you guys, I've got a pretty decent connection with this team. They're not tied to any of these guys outside of like Walker Kessler. They really like Lauri Markkanen internally in there. The rest of them, they're kind of just saying, hey, if you can show it, we're interested in keeping you. Otherwise, the rebuild hasn't started yet. That's just how they view it. They're like, none of these guys are like key franchise player types, so not really a point in thinking that of them at this point. So I know that seems kind of vague, but no, like, we want this team to be the worst record. They want to get Cooper Flagg or one of the other ones at the top. They'll take Dylan Harper in an instant if they can, right? No questions about that. Then the Wizards, Alex Sarr stretches his offensive limits and the losses keep stockpiling. Yeah, that'd be great. Your second overall pick. He's been awesome on defense, offensively, hit and miss. We expected that, right? Totally in line with expectations. It's been a successful season for Alex Sarr in my mind. If he can build on stuff offensively, great. I'm really looking for that more so in the back half of next year. That's when I'll start to really look for it. But if that's great, then that's great. The Wizards win a couple meaningless games and deny themselves the jackpot prize at the lottery. I bet you Cooper Flagg doesn't see it that way. But yeah, no, are they still the worst? 16, 15, yeah. So they're still the worst by a little bit. Jazz are coming up quickly. Wizards are winning games because Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton are on the court, and they can actually get the ball to some of these young guys. They're starting to play a little bit better because, surprise, surprise, you put people that know how to play NBA basketball on the team, better things happen. Not that hard to comprehend, right? That's kind of the moral of the story in this video, it feels like. But yeah, no, that's it for this video. I'm curious to hear what you guys want for your favorite teams going into things. Like I said, if I'm a Bulls fan, just offload any money, get whatever draft picks you can. Like, keep Giddey. Go find me another scorer. I'll take Julius Randle. I'll take Bradley Beal. Just give Giddey someone to pass it to next year. I'll take a draft pick to take on Julius Randle for you guys. I promise you I will. I'll be thrilled about it. You'll get a whole video about it. But anyway, let's move on to the comment of the video. All right, comment of the video comes from our latest mock draft video here. I wouldn't give you guys an extra one just because March Madness was starting up. Hope you guys are having fun with the brackets and everything at this point. But our comment of the video comes from B-Ball Rambling, frequent commenter on the channel. Always appreciate it. He said, and I don't know exactly how to say the names. You guys know I'm bad at names. Igor Demean? He goes to BYU, therefore, very high chance he is Mormon. I can confirm he is actually Mormon. Doesn't always mean that they're Mormon, right? Because they're getting the #1 prospect in high school next year. Not a Mormon, as far as I'm aware, and from what people have told me, they're just paying him a ton of money. But Mormon men are expected to complete a 2-year mission after turning 18. Does anyone know if he is going to do this? Sean Bradley did the same thing than Jimmer. I don't know. I don't know if Jimmer was actually Mormon or not, but interesting thing, never thought of it before. Actually true. Maybe he's already... No, he can't have done it already because he's like just 18 now. So is that something we have to take into account of? I have not talked to anybody about that, so I have no clue, and I just think it's a very interesting question that was brought up. I never thought about that. So, yeah, you guys let me know what you think about that, and hey, go leave me some comments. Go watch these Do They Fit in the NBA videos. Like, keep showing them love. They're getting love right now. They're my favorite on the channel, and if you guys keep showing them love, I don't care that YouTube takes the money for them, even though they wrongfully do so. But seriously, they're my favorite. Go watch them and leave me some comments, and maybe you'll be the comment of the video. But seriously, appreciate you guys as always, and we'll talk later. Thanks so much. Bye.